I'm going to have a good recording. Okay, ECE 111, this is live lecture number 3, which means we are over halfway finished with the class. Hey, y'all. Hi, Opal. I have to hear your voice someday, Opal. I do. You always make me smile, even coming into a classroom where I can't even see you. Our announcements. Keep an eye on your due dates this week, of course. Try to get those discussion board postings up in time. Don't forget to take your quizzes. And I wanted to take just a moment to ask you guys how are your literacy kits coming along? Does everyone have a book chosen now? Do you guys have your book chosen for your literacy kit? Give me an idea of what you're using. Oh, I understand that too, Bailey. Yeah. Oh, Desiree, you're using Chicka Boom Boom. Love that book. Oh, and there are tons of activities that go with it. If you look on Pinterest or even just do a search on the internet, you'll find lots of activities to go with that one. Hi, Jasmine. You're using Chicka Boom Boom too, Trees. Fantastic. There you go. Okay, so we've got 2 doing Chicka Boom Boom. I think Lita is using Brown Bear, What Do You See? Oh, no, that's fine, Therese. You can use the same books. It's fine. No problem, because you guys will be putting together your own kits separately. So, yeah, don't even worry about that. That will work. Does anybody else have your book ready to go? You know which one you're going to use? Jasmine, Jessica, anybody else? You're thinking about it, aren't you? Okay, good. Well, get busy. Start getting that ready because it's due in less than a week now. We're talking about, it's Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday night. You basically got 10 days left. So start getting your items together. Don't spend a lot of money. You know how I am. Borrow the things that you can. Oh, okay. Gotcha, Jasmine. That's always a good idea, actually. You know, and each week at the first of the live lecture, I've talked about the literacy kit. So if you're unsure, just go back and watch like the first maybe 15 minutes of each one. Yeah, and that should help. That's actually a very good idea. Oh, let me scoot back. Also, this week we'll be doing chapter 13 and 14 in our DAP book, which is Developmentally Appropriate Practices. I've got one more slide on our literacy kit overview. You should have, here's an example, when you turn in your literacy kit online, you should have 2 pictures of your kit. On the left, you'll see a picture of a young lady holding her literacy kit. That will be proof that you have built it and you've put it together, and plus I get to see all your smiling faces, and I love that. So you're going to have a picture of yourself holding your kit, and on the right you'll see a more close-up picture of all the items that are in the kit. So I want you to take it out of the bag and spread everything out so that I can see your book, your activities, what all is going to be in there, okay? So you'll submit your 2 pictures. You're welcome to put more than 2, though. If you feel like you need to add more, that's fine. And I think one of the easiest ways to do this is to use either PowerPoint or Google Docs. Take your pictures and insert your pictures into a slide. I think that's a fairly easy way to do that. You're also going to have, along with your 2 pictures, a list of all the supplies in there that are in the kit. So just a single page with all your supplies. I'll use my smiley face. A detailed direction on how to use the kit. So the directions need to be directed toward the parent or caregiver and give a step-by-step guide on how to use the literacy kit. Also, directions for the fun activity and a copy of the educational activity. And if you need directions for the educational activity, be sure those are as well. So those are the basic things you'll be turning in 10 days. Okay, you can do it, guys. Our student question of the week was, and this is a really good one because I actually get asked this one quite a bit, do I have to do an externship? And yes, you do. It is a very big part of our program. Since we are a vocational college, we really focus on teaching you skills that you're going to use when you get out into your core program. Since you guys are all early childhood education majors, we want you to get that hands-on experience either at a daycare center or at a preschool. I'm trying to think of some, I've had people work at public schools as well doing their externship. So we want you to get that experience. Oh, Desiree, you'll be doing it in December. Great. That's really actually a good time to do it too. So you're going to be getting this on-ground experience because you've learned the things that you can online through your coursework, through your assignments and our activities that we've done. Then we want you to get out and apply this knowledge as well as learn from somebody that's already working in the field. It's always great when we can get you paired up with a good mentor that has several years experience because you will learn so many good tips and tricks being there and doing it and listening to that mentor. So yes, do your externship. You need 180 hours altogether. Hi, Jessica. Good, good. 180 hours altogether. You can do this either full-time or part-time. So if you have a job, you can do your externship during your extra hours. If you're already working in the ECE field, here's the exception. Let's say you're already working at a daycare center and you've worked there over 6 months. You can sometimes opt out of the externship if you have already had experience. So keep that in mind as well. It's called previous learning assessment. If you've worked at least 6 months in a daycare or in a preschool, or maybe helping even as a teacher's aide in early childhood, you might be able to apply for previous learning experience or PLA. And it is so worth it as well. I had one student who she had, oh my gosh, I think 15 years experience in ECE. So she had no problem getting previous learning experience. Basically that's saying that, oh, Bailey, you've got your, it's not an easy application process. You're right. There's quite a few steps that you have to do. You have to prove that you've worked in that area. You have to get a letter from your previous employer. Build a good resume showing us all the skills that you've had. So it may take you a few hours to get it done. However, that few hours versus 180 hours is a good trade-off, as well as if you get PLA, you don't have to pay the fee that you would for externship, which is the same as a course fee. So you save money and you save time if you already have that experience. And if not, you do your externship and you get fantastic experience. So that's what we want either way. So that was a very good question, guys. All right, let me see. Did Teresa's question get answered? Oh, what was Teresa's question? Did I miss it? Where we are. Oh, do we choose what school we go to, or is this chosen for us? Oh, I'm sorry, Teresa, I didn't see that. You get the opportunity to pick 5 different places that you would like to extern at. So whenever, I'm going to go back a slide, whenever you get to externship time within about 6 to 8 weeks of starting your externship, you'll be contacting Stephanie Lawrence, our Career Services rep. One of the things she'll have you do is give her a list of 5 centers that you would like to work at, along with the phone numbers and addresses of those centers. What she does then is she contacts the centers to see if they are interested in having an extern there, if that's something they will work with. Some centers will, some centers won't. Some worry about having students on campus as far as safety goes and liability. So some will say, no, sorry, we don't do that. Others are very open to it. And you just don't know until you ask. So what the purpose of you being able to choose is that you can pick a place that you're interested in possibly working in the future, maybe some place that's close to where you live, because we want you to use this as a way of getting your foot in the door. So yes, you get to pick them, 5 different ones, and then Stephanie will start by going in the list, and she'll try to get you placed at one of those 5 centers, and it almost always happens. No problem. Sorry I didn't see it before, Therese. Darn. Okay, you're so welcome. This week we're going to go over a little bit about chapter 13 and 14, infants and toddlers, cognitive language, and literacy environment. So this is kind of fun. Love seeing pictures of babies. This is a little light as far as this graphic goes, but I love it. At about 1 to 6 months of age, they start doing the baby coos and the baby gurgles. So ah, ba, wee, not wee, but la is another one that babies will say. Whenever my daughter was a baby, when she cried, she would go, Allah, Allah. So they all have their own little way of communicating with the world. Some will do more of a wah. At 6 to 12 months, baby begins to babble. Babbling sounds like da-da, doo-doo, mama. They're usually repetitive. And if you're lucky, one of the first ones is mama as well, because we like to hear that one. At 12 to 18 months are baby's first real words. They like to copy the sounds and the words that are frequent in their environment. So in this case, Teddy is actually a 2-syllable word. And it may also be one of the first words may be something that they're really needing or wanting, and they have that desire to repeat that word, such as water, might be wah-wah, food, or if they hear it a whole lot, love you. So just depends on what they're hearing. At 18 to 24 months, toddlers begin to join 2 words together. So the example is more tea, and lots of new words begin to be learned at this stage too. At 18 to 24 months, they are just word magnets. They're really picking them up and they're really repeating. So then we have at about 2 to 3 years is when they start using the 3 to 5 word sentences. Daddy, fix it. Now, it's not saying that this isn't going to happen earlier. I've known 1.5-year-olds that put together simple sentences, but I've also known children that may wait until they're 4 to say simple sentences. Again, it's very important to realize that we do develop our own progress. We always have to focus on that. Okay, this is really wonderful. Something that I find often especially in an infant and toddler classroom, is that teachers are sometimes at a loss as to what we do with them. What do you do with infant and toddlers to help build language? So here's a few great tips. There's 12 of them. When you point to something, you say what it is. You may be saying the words of things around the room. And then when they get to be toddler age, the teacher will be pointing and having the toddler say what it is. So that's a simple, fun game of building words. Use a gesture along with the word you say so that the child can say it too. If you tell me it's time to eat, tap your lips. And the child can hopefully imitate that gesture and tell you when they're hungry. It's a great, simple form of baby sign language, is tapping the lips. And also this one, squeezing your hand, is milk. So it's a great way to cut down on frustration with children. And if you say it and do it at the same time, they will pick it up so much faster. Number 3, talk to me about what you're doing. Tell me what will happen next so I will know what to expect. And one of the big things that comes to mind for me if you're caring for infants is to talk to them during diaper change time. You know, I'm picking you up. All right, we're going over to the diaper change table. Time to take off the pants. Let's get rid of that dirty diaper. You can sort of narrate to them what's going on and what to expect. They'll be a lot more interested in what you're saying and doing and less stressed out about the process, because you know some kids really don't like diaper change time. So you can turn it into sort of an activity for you. Okay, and Desiree, what? I think my 16-month-old likes me to tell her to shut doors because she likes to do, oh yes. I remember that game well. That's a good one. Shutting the door. They can do it on their own. That's right. So she's got that down. That's great. So using words describing your action so that they know what's going on, maybe talking about feelings even. So it just gives you things to focus on. Take turns chatting back and forth with me. Babies love it when you duplicate their babbling sounds because they really feel like they're having a conversation with you. Number 6, model bigger and better sentences. Now this was a fun one. If they say to cat, you can say back to them, you have 2 cats on your shirt. So you're taking those 2 simple words that they have started with and you're building on it. So you're modeling sentences for them even before they're ready to put together sentences. Does that make sense? That you're sort of helping build their vocabulary in that process. Okay, number 7, sing with me. It's easier to learn words in songs, and so many of you posted rhymes and songs on our discussion board that I absolutely loved. And these may be words or poems or songs that were sang to you when you were a child that you truly remember. And sometimes it takes reading what someone else has put up to trigger that memory in your own brain as well. When you go, oh yeah, I'd forgotten about that. I do that all the time. Take me to the library, read me a book, let me decide how to do it, and when we are done, let me mouth board books. Now that would be if they're not from the library. You get to chew them on a little bit. Don't chew on the library books. Decide which to explore. Check out a thrift store. Buy me a few board books because we're really cheap. Clean them off really well. At home, attach felt tabs to them so it's easier to turn the pages all by themselves. So there's lots of things you can do there. There's so many fantastic infant books out right now. They're so interactive and so colorful. Number 9, make books about me. When I see myself in a book, I will learn that books can be about things in my life. So you might make them a book about their typical day. You might make them a book about their trip to the zoo, and that could start with pictures that you took at the zoo, pasting this into a Word document or into a bookmaking program where you can add a few words, print out those pages, laminate them, 3-ring binder them together, whatever you got to do to make a book-like object for them, and they will feel famous because there's a book about them. Show me words on things. Point out the words in books, on containers, maybe on signs as you're going down the road. Older children love this, to read the names of businesses or stop signs, whatever might be outside the car window. You can say you make the letter L, or ask, I wonder what letter you made. Oh, be playful when you're learning. Ask you that the shape of the cookie cutter alphabet has made. So if you have cookie cutters in different shapes and sizes, you can use those as well. So the point is that whatever activity you're doing, you're always learning. You're always pointing out words. You're pointing out letters. And last, number 12, give me time to learn and explore. There's no rush to learn the names of colors, letters, and things. I will learn them in my own time. Some people really stress out about, oh, they have to know all these things before preschool, or they have to know all these things before kindergarten. And really, the most important thing is that they're having these experiences, and that you're talking about these things, but formal learning will come along when it needs to. We don't necessarily have to stress out on them knowing, for instance, all the letters of the alphabet before kindergarten, or being able to write all the letters of the alphabet, because that's sort of the point of being there. And we don't want to start learning stress too early, right? Keep it relaxed. Keep learning relaxed and fun. So I want you to think about this situation. Let's pretend like you're in charge of 3 infants, and you're wanting to focus on language development. Now with our 3 infants, let's say it's only a half-a-day program. It starts at 8 o'clock in the morning and it goes until noon. So you have these 3 infants for about 4 hours. I want you to think about some things that we've learned in this class, some things that we just talked about, those 12 different things that you could do, and maybe things that you do with your own children as well. And I want us to come up with a rough schedule. Let me see here. Let me get my number 24 pointer out. So what do? You guys give me an idea. What is an activity or part of the schedule that you would do with 3 infants to help build language and development in a program that's from 8 to 12? You guys give me some ideas here. And then we can put them in an order from there, right? What can you do with 3 infants focusing on language development? There we go. I see somebody typing. There's 2. All right. I am ready to go. Oh, literacy kids. You are awesome, Trees. There you go. You might have a literacy kit ready for each child. Good idea. A different book. And you know, with infants, you could do the same book every day for a week. That would be a very good idea because it's repetitive and they would get to know the book. Okay, Bailey, I used to put the twins in their high chairs and read to them. Yes. Yes. And great, you've got them sort of in a spot, right? So they're not just roaming around. Ask them questions, and they would babble back, and I would say, oh, yes, yes, you're so right. Oh, I love that. I love that. So reading with questions, and they give their own little baby responses. Very good. Okay, Desiree, yes, you could do story time and songs, because even though they cannot sing yet, they could still babble along with your songs, and we know that children love music. Okay, let me see. Blocks in the carpet play area might be good use for fine motor skills. That's right, Jasmine. Blocks and carpet play, and to add literacy into that, they could be the blocks with alphabet letters on them as well. Yeah. And okay, and you guys both put songs again. There you go. Okay, so those are a few things we would do, and since this is infant, then we would also have from 8 to 12, we would probably have 1 to 2 feedings in that time period. We'd have diaper changes, of course. You would change a lot of diapers, and you might have naps as well. That's right. Depending on their age, they may still be at the point where we're up for an hour or two, and then we're down for naps. So with these basic activities, you know, sometimes you might have all 3 awake at the same time. Sometimes you may not. But if you did, high chairs might be a great way to round them up for like a circle time for reading books. Or I love the bouncy seats that they can set back, sort of lounged in, and they can still kick their feet and play with things while also listening to books. And also with these activities, remember during feedings for literacy, we might talk to them about what the foods are. We might show them pictures of where the foods come from. During diaper changing, we talk to them about the process, where we're going, what we're doing. I've known some centers that have diaper changing songs that they use as well. I wish I could remember one off the top of my head. I'll have to look it up and send it to you guys. And naps, of course, you can have a process for naps. So with about any age group, we know that if we have an activity time where they're moving around and doing stuff, we want to follow that with a more quiet time. Maybe that's when we're reading, leading up then to naps. And sometimes naps is just laying them down in the crib and they fall asleep, or sometimes we also do rocking. So when we're rocking with an infant, that's a great time for songs as well. So you guys get the idea of how literacy can be stitched into all these activities that we're doing. So literacy isn't just about learning to read, it's learning words, it's learning sounds, it's all of those things involved. So here's great ways to teach using toys. Love this. And the first one, we're talking about using dolls. Now don't worry, we're going to talk about a different item on the next page. But with dolls, we can talk about the body parts. We can talk about the clothing, what pants are, what a shirt is. They can compare it to what they're wearing. We can talk basic concepts. Use the baby with other baby toys such as beds and blankets and saying those terms out loud. Color and size concepts as well. You can also do verbs and feelings using dolls. So use the baby with some other baby items to teach about feelings, etc., such as the baby needs to eat, it's drink, now it's time to drink, now it's time to sleep, are they sleepy, are they thirsty, are they hungry? You can get into, oh, baby looks like they're upset, do you think they're tired? You know, so you can use lots of different verbs and feelings there. Answering what questions would be, you can ask your child an array of questions to work on their understanding, such as where is the baby? Where's the baby's nose? What does the baby want to hear? Why is the baby crying? And we know that questioning is a fantastic way of teaching. of learning. So we want to use that questioning skill. And lastly, social pragmatic skills. Baby dolls can be a great tool to use to help teach appropriate social skills, such as using languages to ask questions about the dolls and what they're doing. You can even talk about things such as biting or pushing and using the dolls as an example. So there's lots of things that you can do with dolls. There's also lots of things you can do with cars, trucks, and trains. Yes. And again, we can use this for boys and girls. We always want to tie both together because we know some children, no matter what sex they are, will like cars, trucks, and trains. So again, basic concepts, the colors, the numbers, you can count the trains. Goodness, I just lost my voice. I think it was Lita that brought up how she used the cars to teach her son how to count. So instead of just counting or saying the numbers, they counted cars because he loved that. Part or whole relationships. Cars can be great for teaching things such as the wheels, the windows, the bumpers, the doors. So just like on the dolls, teaching the parts of the doll, you can teach the parts of the vehicle as well. Oh, your computer's dying. Oh no. You too, Bailey. Be sure and check back in to catch the end of the lecture, okay? Oh, and count by swinging. That's a good idea too, Bailey. I like that. Yes. Okay. Verbs and adjectives again. Go, stop, fast, slow can be used with cars very easily. Social skills. You can use these items to work on taking turns. It's a very hard concept to learn. And some people get really frustrated with this in their child that at 1 and 2, they really don't understand the concept of taking turns. So we explain it to them, we practice, but just realize it's going to take a while before they really understand it. We're really getting into more like the 3s and 4s where they can master that a little bit better. And then lastly, answering the what questions again with our cars. What, where, why, where is the car, who is driving the car, what color is the car, where are the wheels. So again, we get into just the importance of asking questions and encouraging them to respond to us, to search their little brains for the word that they need to answer that question with. Yeah. And here's a few examples of toys that we might use for building concepts and building literacy. Who would have thought Mr. Potato Head? But what are some of the things that you can teach with Mr. Potato Head? Give me some ideas. And I remember when Mr. Potato Head first came out. Oh, Desiree, yes. So we're going to go with parts of the body, and it's really great that on Mr. Potato Head they're huge. So it makes it really easy to point them out. Head, shoulders, knees, and toes. Trees has tied in a song. Fabulous. There you go. Parts of the body, yeah, and if you had 2 Mr. Potato Heads, you could have them having a little conversation. You could teach a little social skills that way as well. Okay, then we have our fantastic alphabet blocks, but can you see what makes them a little different on the alphabet blocks? Those of you that are on smaller devices, it might be kind of hard, but if you're on a computer, you can see what makes these blocks really different. We've got letters, but we've also got what else? Sign language, bingo. So the sign for each letter is on each block. So we're essentially teaching a second language as we go along, and as the children get older, they can use these sign language letters to spell words, so we can reinforce spelling as well. I really want to study these blocks. Okay, look down on the far right-hand side. We've got a little playhouse. What can we do with literacy in that playhouse? How could we teach using that playhouse? Communication skills, yep. Because the first thing that they'll do in a playhouse is role play normally. So we're playing moms and dads or brothers and sisters, and they can learn how to talk to each other. Oh yeah, you could teach colors. You could talk about the different colors that are on the house. Very good. What else? Cooperative play. Yes, they're working together. That's true. Cooperative play, and something that didn't come up, but it was almost with the colors, was you could also talk about the parts of the house. You could talk, oh, there's the door. Are you in the window? Is that the roof of the house? So pointing out the different parts. And something that I really like about this little house too is on the right-hand side, you've got what can be like a drive-through. So it almost looks like they're going through like a fast food drive-through. And you can emphasize, again, talking to each other, but also taking turns, because you can pretend like your car's in the drive-through, right? Oh, okay, gotcha. You were typing, labeling the house doors and the windows. Yes. So if you wanted to take it a step further from not just saying the different parts of the house, you could take little index cards if you're teaching pre-reading skills and write out window, door, roof, wall, and have them say those. Oh, shapes as well. Very good. Because they're all different shapes and sizes as well. Again, there's so many things that are part of normal play that we take for granted that we really don't realize are great teaching experiences or teaching opportunities for children. Good job, guys. Let me see. Oh, I think Opal's got one more too. Uh-oh, I lost your thought bubble, Opal. Did you change your mind? Okay, so we are now on, I realize it's only 8:43. Oh my goodness. How did the time fly by so fast, number one? 8:43, we're at the very end of our slideshow. So the importance of talking about what you're doing with children, talking about the parts of the house, talking about just things in everyday life. Getting them to hear more words is so important. So it doesn't have to be words read from the book. It can just be simple conversations to help increase the number of words they are hearing every day on a daily basis. Will help them in their future when they start school, because they'll start with a bigger vocabulary than some children were, right? All right, do you guys have any questions? Do you feel like class is going okay? I think everybody's getting stuff turned in on time, especially those of you that are showing up for our live lectures. I appreciate that. We get some back and forth time. Class is going good? All right, fantastic. Oh, you saw my chicken mask, Desiree. Well, I do have a whole chicken suit. I do, yeah. Now you know I'm out. But, you know, since I live in far northeast Oklahoma, they had a meeting that I needed to attend, and we were able to do it remotely. One of my friends took her iPad into the meeting, and she connected with me through Google Hangouts. They faced the iPad towards the screen. I was able to see who was talking. I was able to see the slides that were being put up. And at the very end, to thank her for doing that for me, I put on my chicken mask, and she snapped a picture. So it's great. There's the beauty of distance education. Oh, are you, Brittany? You're starting to feel baby moves around? Oh, you will. You'll get a little more tired because building babies is hard work. You're right. You need to take that time to get a little extra rest, but I love that. Butterflies. Oh, yes. That's wonderful. I bet you're getting excited. And when are you due again? October 13th. Oh, and you will have a C-section. Gotcha. October. So I was going to guess, if you're feeling butterflies, that you might be around 4 months. So May, June, July, August, September, October. It was about right, wasn't it? Some people feel that earlier. Some people feel it later. Yeah. And my mom's birthday is October 13th, so you're welcome to have he or she on that day. Fantastic. Well, guys, if you are, yeah, exactly. You're at 16 weeks. Oh, so you should know pretty soon then. That's great. Well, most of us will still be here, right? We'll be online to talk to you about it and see how things are going. I love it. We've had several ECE babies, and I love being able to follow everyone like week to week and month to month and see how they're doing. It's great. So be sure and tell us when you know if you're having a boy or a girl. Oh, fantastic. That is so close. Great. Well, if you guys don't have any more questions, you're welcome to get on out of here. Please do call me, email me, Facebook me if you think of something, okay? And if not, we'll just boogie on with week 3, and we'll begin week 4 next week.